Forgiato Blow, and JJ Lawhorn. 4 days ago, the Saturday after Charlie Kirk got shot. Let's hear what these guys have got to say.
Whoa, we need a big tall tree and a short piece of rope.
And that's all you really need to hear, to be honest.
Hang 'em up high at sundown. Leave 'em swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town.
Like, the lyrics there. Come on, man. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't get any more blatant than this. A big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang them up high at sundown. Who's they, dude? Who's they? Who is they? Content warning for anti-black violence. This is something that is not being reported by many white streamers, which is a bit embarrassing, but also is not being reported by mainstream news whatsoever. And of course, that should be no surprise to people who take a look at anti-black violence in the States and the way that the media does not report on it. But this is the news that on Monday, a college student was found hanged from a tree with all of his limbs broken, which is extremely similar to traditional lynchings of black people. Let's take a look at this.
And now to news developing out of Mississippi, where a coroner's
in Mississippi
office is
as well,
maintaining that there is no evidence a young black man was attacked before he was found dead on the Delta State University campus.
Now Trey Reed's family is ordering an independent autopsy. Now a warning, some of you may find this story triggering. The 21-year-old was found hanging from a tree on campus Monday morning. The coroner says a preliminary exam shows no signs of broken bones or assault, but Reed's mother told local reporters that she questions what happened to her son. She says she spoke to her son Friday, and he was excited to attend the university. The family says the school has not reached out to them, and they're getting information secondhand from the media.
As we move forward, we're just looking for answers that a simple camera on the university's campus will answer.
We are so concerned about what's going on. We're getting mixed information. We're hearing everything on the media. So we just want the truth. That's all we're looking for.
Reed was a first-year student and had only been on campus for 1 month when he was found dead. Authorities initially ruling this.
So he would have been 18, this kid.
Suicide. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump is leading an investigation into Reed's death, though. He says Trey Reed was deeply loved and respected by those who knew him, and added Reed's family and the campus community deserve a full independent investigation to uncover the truth about what happened. We cannot accept vague conclusions when so many questions remain. The NAACP posted an image saying a man was lynched.
Chat, especially if you're white, you should follow these. The NAACP, incredibly important. You know, they do a lot of important work. It is extremely important that we publicize this stuff and talk about this stuff. I've only seen black streamers reporting on this. I saw this come out it was pretty much on Monday. Obviously there was so much news on Monday anyway, and I wanted to highlight this story because it's extremely important, and there's other things about this story as well. Let's take a look at this press release from Delta State University. I think this is regarding this. Delta State University President Daniel J. Ennis and DSU Chief of Police provide an update on the state of the investigation into the death of student Trey Reed.
Good morning. My name is Dan Ennis, and I'm the president of Delta State University. Thank you for being here this morning. I want to begin by acknowledging that the manner and how Trey was discovered has stirred many emotions in the community, and many emotions around the state and the nation. While the preliminary report of the Baldwin County Coroner's Office indicates no evidence of foul play, we recognize that this is not only about facts, it's about emotions and it's about feelings.
You know, the other thing that was in the coroner's report was that his arms and legs were broken. How exactly did he hang himself if his arms and legs were broken? Come on, man.
Second point I'd like to make before I turn it over to law enforcement is that university and I personally have been in regular, frequent contact with Mr. Kim. And I'll say for those of you who are not used to how universities work, I take a moment to explain. When a student comes to this university, or almost any university in America, they fill out a contact form. This applies to Trey Reed and applies to every other student at the state. The student tells us their next of kin. And from the moment we discovered this, and from the moment law enforcement was engaged, 7:30 in the morning on Monday, this university has been in regular, frequent contact with the student. The student always chooses is their next of kin. So we gave us the names and the contact information for the people who wanted to be contacted in the event of an emergency.
Why are they spending so much time on this, chat? Does anyone know this better than me? So either what's happened is they've notified the wrong people. His parents learned it from the news. They didn't contact fucking anybody, chat. They didn't contact anybody. His voice is shaking. He knows he fucked up. That's exactly what it is. Holy shit. That's next of kin with an emergency is right. So what this guy is talking about in terms of next of kin, the reason why you respect next of kin when someone is, I don't know, injured, put in hospital or something like that is because maybe there is something that the person does not want their family to know, like, oh, I'm in an abusive relationship, or I'm queer, or I'm trans, or something like that, right? The guy died. This kid is dead. You know what I mean? He was a kid and he's dead. It's not like they had to just like cover up some kind of thing that the kid had said that he didn't want to be communicated to his parents or anything like that. It's like, no, the kid died. Like, it's crazy. Well, it's only bizarre if they didn't make some fucking major fuck up, right? He's scrambling, conflating emergency contact with next of kin, right? He's not mourning a student. He's just terrified for his job. That's all it is. He's like, I did the right thing. I did the correct thing. He knows he's about to get sued by this family. Like, fucking hell. Guy's been watching Netanyahu on the TV.
And I think every minute about Trey, but I also have to think about...
If they have not cancelled classes for the week, then they do not give a fuck about this. Sorry, but when someone dies at a school, you need to give the students some fucking space. Classes for a week, stop. This kid died. He was a month into his fucking course or a month away from starting or something. They cancel classes for the day. For the day? For the day? The campus is a crime scene. Exactly. What do you mean?
Very grateful that we have had increased law enforcement presence on this campus. And unfortunately, that's because this campus has received threats.
That state university police continue to demand the tragic loss of Trey.
Whoa. Delta State University Police? What? Is this some weird yank stuff? They got like a police department for the university? Oh no, that's true, right? Because of school shootings and stuff, right? This is the important thing to stress about this. There needs to be attention on this to really figure out what the happened. If this guy's parents were saying things like, you know, he was loving it, he was loving life, he didn't care, he wasn't like depressed, he didn't give a fuck about, like, you know, the way that the country was going or anything like that, he wasn't scared, he was excited to start college, he was a normal kid, and he just hung himself. No, sorry, man, I'm sorry, that's just not how it happens. It's just not how it goes. This is it as well. The imagery from like hanging from a tree. I don't know. I'm not black, right? Obviously. And I don't want to speak for black people and shit like that. I don't know if there was... I don't want to sit here and say, like, there's absolutely no way that he would not know that imagery was evocative of a very worse time, and the way that things are going, it's you know, going to be a far worse time and shit like that. Just look, I mean, you know, all I could say about this is that there is absolutely no shot in hell that someone who kills themselves like that, like, has developed a relationship to a tree that he's only been around a month, right? Or not even a month. Normally when people kill themselves, they do it in like a symbolic way. And I just do not believe that it would happen like that. And it's in the South. It's in fucking Mississippi. Mississippi has had a lot of black people commit suicide under sudden circumstances over the past 10 years. Despite the fact that black people all say we don't kill ourselves that way. Right, exactly. Is he going to take questions? I just want to hear the questions, to be honest. Great question.
That's a great question. Again, the statement was initially, at this point, we didn't believe or have evidence of falsehood.
Right, but you didn't have evidence to the contrary. I just don't get it, man. Like, it's crazy, like...
So we will defer to law enforcement regarding whether these threats
that's credible.
Let's talk about credible threats, chat, real quick. This video came out a day after Charlie Kirk died. This tune from these guys, Forgiato Blow and JJ Lawhorn, 4 days ago, the Saturday after Charlie Kirk got shot. Let's hear what these guys have got to say.
Whoa, we need a big tall tree and a short piece of rope.
And that's all you really need to hear, to be honest.
Hang 'em up high at sundown. Leave 'em swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town.
Like, the lyrics there. Come on, man. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't get any more blatant than this. A big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang them up high at sundown. Who's they, dude? Who's they? Who is they? And appropriating hip-hop as well. Exactly. Thank you, Mr. Dank. I know I don't have like you know, I know that it's probably likely that the majority of my audience is white, but I know that I have a black audience. I know that I have you know, black and racialized people in here, so I'm not gonna torture you with this shit. This song is a racist piece of shit song. It doesn't really change any other point. Like this here, she's rapping Black Lives Matter, but you're triggered by, I don't know, but you're triggered by this song. Tetris Beard. Tetris Beard. I also find it funny how this guy's got his brand new camo on, like he's gonna be doing any fucking fighting, you know what I mean? Look, you know, this guy is a notorious, both of these guys are notorious racist rappers. I believe if you watch Rhizome's stream, Rhizome covers these guys, you know, semi-regularly. I think Sean was covering this guy as well. I think on the day it came out, I was watching his stream for a bit. You know, it's got 17,000 views. It's been on YouTube for 4 days. I reported this as soon as it came out. And I don't want to be a, like, I reported it performative Andy, but, like, you know, we should be reporting this. Like, if we are really talking about inciting violence and calls to violence, if that is really what the rhetoric is, if that's what people are talking about, we should be reporting this. How is this allowed? How is it allowed? They are literally giving step-by-step instructions on how to lynch people and literally referring to black people. They're talking about Black Lives Matter and getting triggered by this song, right? You know, come on. It is fucking obvious. It is clearly an incitement. It's not just an incitement to violence. It's an incitement to terrorism. They'll just claim free speech is being censored. Good. Free speech is over, dude. No more fucking free speech. That's what I say. Literally no more free speech. Not for these. That's the paradox of tolerance. These are adults. These are people who have, yeah, exactly, Rat Freak. These people have got their fucking worldviews fully established. They're invested in it. It's their brand. Meanwhile, YouTube clamps down on videos simply educating why armed resistance surfaces, not even endorsing it. Right, exactly. Free speech has got nothing to do with what's allowed on fucking YouTube. Well, that's true. We've known that for a long time, right? You know what I mean? Anyway, so, talking about people being safe and shit like that. A great question. How, if you didn't hear that, chat, how would you describe race relations here on Delta campus?
One of the things I love about Delta State is that it's what America should be. I've got 40% African American students, and they eat and play and work and learn beside white people. Yeah, there's always things in every college campus. There's always disagreements. I was in the gym the other night playing pickup basketball, and I was trying to watch it. And the pickup basketball just happened to be one white guys, one of them was me, and 3 black guys. And that was not remarkable. That was not unusual on this campus. I'm not saying this is heaven, but I'm saying I can walk into my cafeteria right now and see black people and white people eating together.
What are we doing, man? Sorry, it is laughable. It is laughable. What do you mean, man? Oh, Jim Crow doesn't exist anymore. That's good. What the f*** are you talking about? You know, chat, right? I'm going to tell you a story, right? I'm going to tell you a story. It's about the anti-fascist white person who goes to anti-fascist counter demonstrations and thinks that that exonerates them from being racist. Yeah? Now, some of you might be thinking, Muel, how is that possible? someone who organizes, someone who understands that fascism in the UK is such a threat and racism is bad, right? How is that possible? How is it that someone who does that, who engages in organizing, can still be racist? It's because as white people, we have simply not done enough to deconstruct whiteness in our communities. Understand what that means. Yes, there are anti-fascist racists. It happens, right? And of course, it means that they're not anti-fascist because they are not looking at how fascism has embedded itself within them. If you treat people who are racialized differently to other people, that is racism. And that is a huge blind spot for a lot of activists. They think, oh, because I go out there and I do this, it means that I am not racist. Wrong. Wrong. Yes, that is one of the first steps. Get out there and stop people from being racist, right? That is the first step. It's basic stuff. Day one, leftists will organize and protest rather than go to therapy and deal with their interlaced prejudice. Yes, absolutely. I've seen it happen. And these people can become wreckers, especially when you call them out for their racism. You know, they tear the place down around them. And it's disgusting and it's horrible and it's embarrassing. I think that's the biggest part of it. The biggest part of it is it's embarrassing. People, like, exactly, every single white person is going to be racist, and white people need to stop treating being called racist as some kind of bullet from a gun. If someone turns around to me and says, Muel, you're being racist, that is an opportunity for me to learn and go, oh, guess I had a blind spot. What can I do? Right? That is what it is. Like, if you get called, like when I have called other white people out for being racist, they have just like rejected it straight away and just gone, no, what do you mean? I do so much anti-racist, this, that, and the other. Whoa, if you're reacting like that, that's crazy, dude. Being called racist is not some like thought terminating, damning kind of endowment. We're all fucking racist. We've all got racism deep within us. We've all got it deep fucking within us, and we've not done enough work to dismantle whiteness. We've not done enough work to dismantle our prejudices. We've not done enough work to, even stop white supremacy from keeping itself established in our society. The very fact that there are still fascists and racists and white supremacists in our society mean that we've not nearly done enough work, particularly as white people, to talk about, like, why people think this way and why people do the things that they do and say the things that they do. It's a continued work. It's a constant work. And it goes for the same with regards to transphobia. It goes, if you're cisgender, it goes the same. If you're straight and you're homophobic, you're queerphobic, queerphobia. The same if you're a man and you have misogynist tendencies. You speak to and listen to your mates of color, exactly. And if you don't have mates of color, that's a bad sign. I have about 30 active racist years inside me. It's very hard sometimes to work against this, but I see that it helps others around, so it's a good fight, right? I can't begin to tell you how many leftists try and mansplain over me, and that's another thing that happens. Cisgender men will often talk over trans women, and they will do it more than they do with cisgender women, and they will exhibit trans misogyny. It is a thing that happens, and you just need to not see it as some kind of like thought terminating, you can't like, I think that's a great point, Sorka. Being convinced that you're already not racist is a thought trap. That's a great start. It's thought terminating to even think of it, right, as stopping being racist. It's thought terminating. And we have to think about it as whiteness. This is what black anti-racist scholars have said for decades. It's shit that you have to work on repeatedly. And, I try and make my space as much of a learning space as possible for, people who look like me, like white cis men, and just in particular, white people, to actually like get it in terms of, having to do the work to undo our whiteness, to dismantle white supremacy. It's not as simple as just going, I'm not a racist, I don't do anything bad, right? I don't do anything bad, but you will subconsciously treat black people differently, and you need to work on that, and everybody needs to work on that. This guy is a shining example of thinking that just because segregation doesn't exist anymore, that race relations are great on his college campus. Couldn't be a better example, race relations on our campus are fine. And that's probably why he sounded like he was getting emotional. Did you hear him, chat? He sounded like he was getting emotional. Most white people will get emotional when thinking that they are being accused of being racist. They will get emotional straight away because they're like, no, how could I be racist? No, I'm not. Because they understand, as white people, we understand racism to be bad. We understand white supremacy to be bad. And then when the wake-up call comes that you've not done enough to fix this shit in your life, you're going to have an emotional response. You're going to be like, no, how could I? I'm not evil. I'm not bad. I'm not participating. I'm not contributing to an evil white supremacist machine. You are. You absolutely are. If we're not doing the work all the time to dismantle whiteness and white supremacy, we are contributing to a machine. It is happening. And I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect with it. I'm still learning. You know what I mean? So me as a white person saying this to other white people is still not going to be perfect. It's still not going to be ideal. You should go and listen to black streamers. You should go and listen to racialized streamers. Like all the only fucking streamers I watch at the minute are black streamers. I watch Rhizome. I watch Sean the Black. I watch Marcus Struggle 4. I watch Jason. I started watching Jason properly today. Like I haven't really caught a Jason D100 stream, and I was in a Jason stream this morning. And what I mean by that, and like absolutely do not do this, and I would hope that none of you would do this. Don't go into those black streamers streams and say, hey, I'm a white person here to learn more or some dumb shit like that. Just like, you know, go and support them and go and listen and go and learn, right?